Hello, folks. I hope you're all well. I'm Usman. This is Bars and Books, and today we are doing my August wrap up as well as a September TBR video and just touching a little bit on what my reading has been like this past month or so. So, the first book I read in August was The Midnight Kingdom by Tara Sim. This is book two in the Dark Gods trilogy, an adult dark fantasy. This was an arc that I picked up from NetGalley. The book came out on August 22nd, so it's out now. But I do have a full review for it, so I'll link that up so you can check it out. Overall, this was just kind of a step down from the first book. The first book I really loved. I give it 5 stars. I have a review for that too, so you can check that out. But this was a little bit of a step down in the sense that it felt much more YA than the first one. That had a lot to do with the romance. I didn't like the romance in this one. Some of the characters I didn't like either. Their development, it kind of grated at me a little bit, but it was mostly the YA feel and the romance, which got a lot more page time in this one. There were some cool elements, like we explored this whole universe a lot more, the world of Vitae and the different realms. It was really cool, and I still like most of the characters. But yeah, I gave this one a 3.5 to 4 stars, and I will be continuing with the trilogy. I'll be wrapping up the third book, and hopefully that kind of goes back to some of the roots that the first book had, which I enjoyed a lot. But that's where I stood there. So now the second book I read in August was an easy 5 stars, but just to give a little bit of context, I was going through a bit of a slump at this period. I don't know, maybe it was the disappointment from the Midnight Kingdom, I'm not too sure, but my reading was kind of going a lot slower. I had to just, do some reflecting and come up with some ways that I could kind of get back on track and stay motivated to read the books that I want to read. So yeah, I was in a bit of a slump. I thought about maybe doing something like just completely out of my comfort zone. So I thought about reading a fairy unicorn book and doing another vlog for that, only because I've been getting a lot of messages. There's been a lot of interest that people have had for those vlogs. It just seemed like something that could maybe, get me out of that slump or get me back in the groove of reading the things I want to read. I don't know. I wasn't sure. Ultimately, I didn't read a fairy unicorn book. I read The Blade Itself. That is the easy 5-star book that I read next. And my gosh, I couldn't have made a better choice. That easily got me out of the slump, and yeah, I flew through this book. It was so good. I mean, I didn't really know much of what to expect. People say it's great, but it really is the character work, and that, thinking back on it, that is a lot of what I've heard from people. The character work, Abercrombie's characters are really, really interesting. They're really unique. I haven't come across anything like it. And he is able to flesh out these characters, give them a really rich history, and rich personalities, as well as doing some great world building and his prose and all that stuff. Like it's all top tier, and I understand all the praise that it gets. It deserves it all. It's really phenomenal. The Blade itself is on track to be one of my top reads, if not my top read for the year. At this rate, the First Law trilogy may be my favorite. I don't know. It's way too early to say. I shouldn't say that. I still have 2 more books to read. I think this is one of the easiest 5 stars I've given this year. Abercrombie's pacing in this book was really good, and from what I understand, the pacing throughout the whole series is great in terms of enjoyment for individual book and as the series as a whole. I'm kind of upset with myself for starting 2 really big series simultaneously, but you know what, it happens, and it was nice to take a bit of a break, I guess, because I do have experience with just reading series back to back. That's how I like to do it, but it is nice to take a break every now and then. So like I said, I didn't read Fairy Unicorns. Sorry to disappoint some of you. The Blade itself was great. But this has kind of made me think that if I ever do experience something like this again, like a major slump where I'm just not feeling motivated and just plan on doing something really outside my comfort zone, I may continue in the Fairy Unicorn series, just because of the amount of interest people have in it. Like I said, I've seen the comments, I've seen the Discord chat, and I like to please people. So I may get on that. Let me know what you think. Hopefully I don't go into another slump for a while, but if I do, this is on the table. This is an option. Third book I read in August was Shadow of Hyperion. This is book 4 in the Hybrid Helix series by JCM Byrne. Man, this was another easy 5 stars. So I can officially say I'm out of my slump. The Blade itself did that really well, but Shadow of Hyperion was just so good. I think it is the best one so far, in my opinion. Another easy 5 stars. Byrne is doing an incredible job with the series. It's going in some areas that are really interesting. We got some new characters in this one. We explored some new places we haven't seen before. The history got expanded upon. I love following Rohan. He's hilarious. He's he's witty. He reminds me of Goku. I love Dragon Ball Z. That's my favorite anime of all time. So if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you need to read this series for sure. Yeah, like I said, things got expanded upon, things we didn't see coming. Some really cool concepts are being played with here. It's a lot of fun. This series is great. I highly recommend it if you like superheroes, if you like sci-fi, or just, witty, hilarious characters. Definitely check out the Hybrid Helix. And the fourth and final book that I'll be reading, well, that I read in August and still am reading, is Dead House Gates, Book 2 in Malazan Book of the Fallen. And this is the other one where I said, starting 2 big series simultaneously, First Law and Malazan. Like I said, I like to just stick with one big series at a time so I can just get a groove going and kind of not lose my momentum. But I jumped back into Malazan with Dead House Gates, and it's going great so far. I'm easily getting settled into this world again, even though these are just brand new characters and new setting and all that. Malazan is great. I mean, Erickson, his prose are phenomenal. His world building, his storytelling, it's poetry, and it's really interesting. It's really fleshed out. I mean, a lot of people know Malazan. A lot of people know the series. But I'm really getting settled in nicely to Dead House Gates. It's going great. So that will probably carry over into September a little bit, and let's just go ahead and get into my September TBR now. So the first book I'll be reading in September is Over London by George Penney and Tony Johnson. This is a book I got from the publisher, a review copy from Swashbuckler Press, I believe, based in the UK, and I'm really excited to get to this one because from what I hear, it reminds me a lot of Discworld, and I love Discworld. It's it's very satirical. It's got witty humor, wizards, I think, and just some really abstract, ridiculous, hilarious stuff. So I'm really looking forward to this. This will be the first one I'm getting to, and I believe it comes out on September 12th. The next book I'll be getting to is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, Book 2 in the First Law. Like I said, I loved The Blade itself. It was an easy 5 stars, and I'm so looking forward to continuing in this series and getting to Before They're Hanged. I hope it delivers. I hope it's as good, if not better, than The Blade itself, but we'll see. Next up is The Lions of Al-Rassan by Guy Gabriel Kay. This will be my first GGK book. I'm very excited. I've heard nothing but rave reviews for Guy Gabriel Kay's work, and apparently this is one of the best standalones he has, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's got a lot of political intrigue, some magic, I think, and some cool cultures, GGK, from what I understand, crafts very unique worlds and very rich cultures and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure I won't be disappointed, and I'm sure this is a great choice for my first GGK book. And the last book up for September will be Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson, Book 3 in Malazan Book of the Fallen. Now, like I said, I'm buddy reading this with a bunch of other booktubers, but we have structured this one so that it takes up September and October. It'll be, taking up both months, and then we'll pick up with House of Chains in November. This is just kind of how we structured it because of scheduling issues or whatnot. So just keep that in mind, and I'm so looking forward to continuing, and then chatting with a live chat, which I'm sure we'll do at some point. From what people say, this is where the series, people start to really immerse themselves in the series and fall in love with it even more. Some things start coming together, but you know what? It's been a fun ride so far, and I'm just gonna take it as I go. I'm gonna immerse myself in it, try to really buckle down and get a good grasp on what's going on here. It's tough. It really is tough, and this is another series that definitely deserves a reread. So, it's inevitable. That'll be happening in the future, but I want to get as much down as I can on this first read through, so it'll be fun. We'll see how I do it, if I do a review, if I do a vlog. I don't know. I'm not huge on vlogs just because they're long. That is my TBR for September. That is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Leave a comment down below. And other than that, I'll see you all next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.